Before we begin, thank you very much to Kevin W. for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for helping out. Really appreciate it. I am thankful for everyone who is willing to pitch in a buck or two a month to keep this show going and to keep the daily content coming. Just a quick little reminder, because I have pre-recorded most of next week's videos, you will not actually be seeing shout outs for Patreon as quickly as normal. So if anyone's generous enough to help the channel out, you'll get your shout out once I'm back to doing it day to day. So just for now, just quick little programming note just to make sure you know, like, I didn't forget you. We're just delaying the shout outs for a bit. So San Diego Comic-Con is a great excuse for me to talk about stuff besides Transformers and just kind of go across the map with other stuff that caught my eye. And I will admit, as far as like pop culture nostalgia at SDCC, there's a lot of things that just go completely under my radar. There's just a lot of things that don't really hit for me. And that's fine. That's fine. You know, okay, there's a new Beetlejuice movie coming out. There's a bunch of Beetlejuice stuff. That's cool. I don't feel a need to own a Beetlejuice toy. I just don't. So we're just kind of going to hit some of my little pet favorites here. And it's just kind of an excuse to talk about a lot of the new stuff that's dropped from San Diego Comic-Con, just because I know a lot of people are going to use the Q&A to ask me a lot of this. So this will get a lot of that out of the way now. We're going to start with Ninja Turtles because I do love some Ninja Turtles. And they showed off quite a bit. So this is the NECA offering, and the thing that catches my eye here is the Shredder from Ninja Turtles 2. That's the big one for me there, complete with the car part throne. Love the look of that. But yes, on the other side, we do have the Holiday Ninja Turtles from Dimension Xmas Vacation. I understand, just like any Ninja Turtle product, the goal is to reuse these toys as much as possible, but man, that really does feel like a stretch. It really feels like we've got these molds that we made for the live-action movie costumes. Let's reuse them in any way we can. Oh well. It's just a weird idea. Do I have a date? Q3. Okay. Q3, so it's out in the fall. That's good. The most hysterical thing is when they announce something like this and you find out it won't be out till spring, and I'm like, that's not even close. That's not even close. Okay, I will probably get this Shredder because I actually do have the Toka and Razor they did, and they're perfect. They're literally just perfect. So I'd really like to have that matching Shredder to go with them. That would be just a really cool little piece on a shelf. They showed off a lot of this Universal Monster stuff. This kind of, I like the black and white idea behind them. It just kind of taps the cheesiness of some of the 90s toys, going for literally any gimmick or license they could in order to make more Ninja Turtle toys. So it's kind of cool that they're homaging that realm and just like going super intense with the detailing on it. They're way more complex than the other ones. Looking at Slash, I think he's already out though. Shredder cooking. Okay, Chef Shredder. I recognize the gun. That's the Neutro Laser. I recognize that. See, the Rex 1. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so typical stuff. Yeah, and just, I like the Ninja Turtles, but man, there's so much to go through. They've made so many. NECA's doing a full round of the Wrestling Turtles. So this was a little story arc they did in the Archie comics back in the day, where, yeah, they were all just pro wrestlers. And if I remember, weirdly enough, it was Donatello that won. Donatello was like the winner of the match. Weird. I remember it mostly because Raphael, he really liked his wrestling outfit, so he actually kept it. He actually stayed in that outfit for quite a few issues, and then for a while it was just the pants. He just walked around with black, like, tights on. It was kind of funny. Yep, cool to see the rest. Speaking of the Gators here for Ninja Turtles, like, here's Leatherhead. I found out real quick that you should not get the names of some G.I. Joe characters wrong. I kept my brain, like, for some reason, crossed wires and could not remember Leatherface from Leatherhead from Leatherneck, who is the actual G.I. Joe character. You people need to stop naming people like leather plus a part of someone's head. Give me like a nice leather butt or something. Give me something different. But no, still cool to see. Oh, like a lot of this stuff's real cool. Like, it looks like we're getting another, like a little bit more fleshed out set of Mutanimals. That'll be fun to have. I did like that run of comics. First look, April O'Neil. Kind of cool to throw in. Triceratons in their underwear for some reason. I think I missed that issue. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. And then we get into like sequel to Last Ronin. Yeah, so it's way too much turtle stuff for me to buy. But it's cool to look at and cool to know it exists. I like that the Archie run is getting some love. I bought the Archie Slash because that's my favorite incarnation of Slash. Yeah, and I might be I might be down for that Shredder. That might be the one I grab. Let's see. Moving on, more stuff. Yeah, they Super 7's Ultimates are going to start doing the 2000s Ninja Turtle team, which is a cool show. It's a good show, don't get me wrong. I will admit, I'm not the most connected to the designs. I think this is super cool for the ones who had this as kids, because it's a good show. It's a good show. It doesn't stick to me the way that like the original cartoon did, though. And I'm just kind of salty that Super 7 isn't doing any more of the Playmates figures. It's like the one Super 7 line that I actually collected. Because I really love the idea of just like taking the old toys, upscaling them to 7-inch, and adding articulation. They were great. They were like perfect for like my nostalgia itch. I wish my old toys were back, but better. That's what it was. And I really wish they had done more. I think they did a fair amount. There's a pretty robust collection of them, I will admit. But I kind of wish it went further. I wanted a Mona Lisa. No one does modern Mona Lisa. More Ninja Turtle stuff. They showed off more like crossovers with He-Man, the Turtles of Grayskull line. I unfortunately think this line is something of a missed opportunity because some of the designs are really, really cool. Okay, here's a Turtle Clamp Champ. Interesting idea. Yeah, but some of them are just weird, like here's Ram Man, but he's kind of like purple now, and that's just Mutant Ram Man. Like, that's not how mutation works. That's not how mutation works. So, yeah, these just kind of feel like they could have been. I feel like these could have been better. It's a cool crossover idea. I just feel like they could have come up with better ideas than this. Okay, the foot soldier that turns into King Hiss is weird. That's an odd one. I don't know. I like Raphael, weirdly enough, is like dressed up as like Snake Armor He-Man from the 2000s run. That's a weird pull. The one thing I didn't really get photos of, but I know was out there, is they were also polling people. They had their presentation showed off future like retro reissues they could do. They're doing the Technodrome, which I already have on pre-order, haha. And they're doing they decided like, here's some slides, what would you be interested in? They showed off like the Sewer Layer play set. They showed off the old Mutant module. Like, I want the Mutant module. I had that as a kid, and there's a million parts to that toy that all get lost easily. I want that whole thing back, please. Find the giant Krang. That's like a $400 toy now because it's so sought after. I lost mine as a kid. I want it back. Find that mold. Reissue that one. But while we're on it, while we're on a little bit of the He-Man vibe here, because like we got some weird He-Man stuff going on in this one, in SDCC as well. They announced that they are crossing over with Thundercats. Now, this is technically not the first time they've done this. Obviously, there's been comic books that crossed over the two because, they're both very much in the same vein, right? So it's sword and sorcery and high tech all mixed together to create the fiction of the series. But also, I'm looking over here in the shop right now. I'm staring at Savage World Thundercats, which was a Funko line where characters were done in He-Man body style. They did a bunch of like DC characters that way. And they're Thundercats. You know, I can see Panthro, Lion-O, and Mumra from here, and they have that He-Man proportion to them. Granted, the new ones are going to be far more articulated, and they will actually be like properly crossed over. You know, the aesthetics of the shows mixing like the way they did the turtles. I'm curious about it, but seeing how the crossover with it's weird. Like the WWE crossover, I thought had a lot of clever ones, and then the Turtles crossover, I thought you could have done way better. Man-at-Arms wearing turtle shells is not all that clever. So I'm kind of like on the fence of how this one's going to go. I'll wait and see. New Marvel Legends dropped. I have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine. And in fact, I'm probably not even looking at the comment section of this video just out of risk that anyone is going to mention a spoiler. Because I am searching things on YouTube. I'm searching for WWE clips. I'm searching for Transformers things to research videos. And I'm getting that stupid thing that pops up for like people also watched this. And it's just a list of like phone recorded screen recordings of like spoilers from the movie. I'm like, I hate everyone who made this possible. Why is this a thing? Why am I getting search results for things I didn't search for? That said, I've heard amazing things about the movie. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm probably seeing it tomorrow. I am staring at Deadpool and Wolverine. I got them on pre-order just in case I like the movie enough. I tell myself, yeah, I want those two. I want those two. They showed off a bunch of other things. You know, we got, the movie version Colossus, which is cool because he's pretty memorable in those movies. We've got a Venom pool, which is always cool to see. A new Lockjaw, which is kind of cool. Like we have the previous one from San Diego Comic-Con, and it's expensive because it's the only Lockjaw they made. Yeah, the rest of the stuff, pretty typical for, like, I am one of those, like, I, like, passively pay attention to Marvel Legends stuff because I'm just waiting for them to do, like, the one thing that interests me. Like, I'm waiting for them to finish off the Carnage family from Maximum Carnage, and that takes a Carrion. They've done the other four, but I'm waiting on a Carrion. And it will never come because he's such a minor character. Also, pour one out for all the Kang toys that are now not going to sell. But they have to produce them anyway because they're this far into development. This is neat. The 6-inch scale Sentinels from the X-Men arcade game, that's actually a really cool idea. I don't know if I really need them or not, but I think it's cool that they're doing them. There is the other Marvel news of like, okay, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is back, but he's Dr. Doom for the next Avengers movies. It feels like they're going to be doing something akin to like the what was it? The infamous Iron Man run. Something more along that line. Some people already said, "Oh, it's a Tony Stark variant, etc." We'll see. Like they wouldn't repeat casting for no reason. So there's absolutely a reason why they've chosen this path. So that's the Marvel stuff that I'm going to talk about. Let's move on to DC. And I'm really only pointing this out to point out that the McFarlane DC toy line is a DC Comics toy line. And what I mean by that is they are allowed to do things other than Batman, Todd. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, here's all the panel screen. It's like, yeah, it's like it's 90% Batman. Okay, we'll throw in a Green Lantern. We'll throw in a Huntress, but Huntress is tangentially connected to Batman as well. So is Effigy, to my knowledge. And then we got Question and Shining Knight. Completely random thrown in there. And then, everything else is here's all the movie Batman. Here's movie Joker. It's just Batman, 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 Batman. We're even getting into them. Like, they're even starting to just repaint the Batman toys into, like, ones to match the toy decos. Like, those, like, gimmicky toys they did back in the day for Batman in the 90s. If they did the right one and had, like, all the accessories packed in with them, yeah, I would actually be down for that. That is lofty at best. But if they're doing literally every Batman that exists at like maybe like one Superman a year. Maybe. This caught my eye real hard. Yeah, so this is the 3-0 Voltron Robo Duo version. Robo Do, actually, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't care. This is really pretty. So it's got vibes of the Stealth Voltron from the 90s with all the black deco on it, but obviously there's a lot more gold than there typically is on a Voltron design, and they've left in the little hints of each lion's typical color. So you're getting something that's incredibly rare, which is a cohesive looking Voltron thanks to the all-match color scheme. And while the body looks mostly the same, just the different, like the limbs just make him look like such a more solid robot than usual. It's beautiful, is what it is. Like, I love that, like, just the accent of the original color on each lion, just letting the black and the gold speak. That's a really cool look. Not gonna lie, that's a really cool look. I ain't paying $330 for it, but it's a really cool look. This is curious. This is like the same thing that like Black Megazords have. Like, it's part of like Power Ranger history because that was the original exclusive for Power Rangers, was the Black Megazord from Toys R Us. So it's cool to see, but like there's not a whole lot of people ultimately interested in that deco for the original. They wanted to look like how it used to look. It's the nostalgia factor that is king with these things. So I'm really curious to see if they can sell a $330 repaint of a version of Voltron that technically never existed in fiction. We will see. NECA is doing some weird stuff. I like the idea of NECA just licensing out all of these random, like, 90s deep cuts that really, like, no one's thought about in years, you know, but because no one else has thought about them, the licenses are probably dirt cheap, so they can get away with a lot. So they've got a new version of their Max, formerly Max Steel. It is now Max 89. Basically just an all gold repaint of the previous Max figure. They've shown off a RoboForce Funko Pop, which I never thought would exist. And then throwing in a few of the other characters that are getting new toys. I can't remember all of them offhand, so you'll forgive me. I'm actually surprised this toy line is getting more than just 2 releases, because it feels like every time I go to a collector shop, they have an entire rack or pile of these things that nobody is buying. You know, I mean, because, yeah, like, the designs aren't bad, but at the same time, no one really remembers RoboForce all that much. You know, most people who remember these days are because of the Glyos line that existed for a while. I'm still upset that line technically no longer exists because of the buyout, but you know, he still does plenty of figures. Like the guy behind it still does toys with the part, you know, with the molds that he has left that he can still use. But, you know, it's not enough to grab me. Like, okay, cool, new version of 100 looks nice. I don't know. It looks nice, but it's not like grabbing me. It's not like one of those, like, okay, it's a cool looking giant robot, I'll take a stab at it. I've had more than one opportunity to buy the Max, and I just kind of like shrug every time. Like, it's just like, yeah, it kind of looks cool. I'm not invested enough to drop 50 or 60 bucks on it, though. Well, it's nice to see they're continuing anyway, and they're doing weird things. They're doing sectars, of all things. Just weird. They're doing biker mice. They're doing Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Just deep 90s cuts that no one remembers. But I love old 90s cartoons, so of course I remember. Okay, Hiya Toys showing off a lot more. I really did not pay attention to Hiya Toys until until the new Godzilla movie. The Godzilla Kong, whose name escapes me right now because my brain's fried. I've done like 5 videos today. But it is cool to see, like, they've done some really good work here. Like, all the designs and sculpts that I have seen have been really, really impressive. Yeah, oh, that's the one. Yeah, I showed this to my friend Red Claw. because he's been after a 2000s era Godzilla for a long time, and this is a beautiful one. Yeah, wide mouth and everything. He looking good, good. They also showed off Contra figures with heads that seem way too small. I don't care if that's accurate to the original artwork. Those heads just look like they're made for like 6-inch figures, and these look like 7 or 8-inch. I do like how many weird accessories they come with. I like that between the two, you get all these different blast effects for the different weapons you had in the original Contra game. You've got the the power up that floats by above the screen to drop all of them down. That's kind of cool. Like, I like that they went all out on Contra figures. It's such a random video game to give new toys to, but again, it's based on the modern toys, so maybe the small heads are part of the redesign. I don't know. Still neat. Still neat. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward. I actually have pre-orders for my first Haya toys. They're not coming out till the end of the year, but I'm looking forward to them. Because, yeah, a lot of this stuff just looks really, really good. This is a weird cut. So, Syndicate Collectibles is doing a pair of Bloodsport figures. Yeah, Frank Dukes and Chong Li. I can't tell you how many times I watched this movie as a kid. Just a ridiculous number of times. I love this movie a lot. Yeah. Yeah, Chong Li is just like such a great villain character, and all they're doing is just like doing like underground fights. Like it's amazing. So yeah, the fact that these are randomly getting toys is kind of amazing. And yeah, Chong Li's got the evil grimace he needs to have. I hope there's an alternate head so he's not stuck looking that way during like a fight scene. That would be nice too. It's cool. It's cool they're giving. It's cool they're doing it. There's a few other little weird things. Nothing else. The double dragon statue was kind of neat. That was kind of neat. Killer Clown from Outer Space Popcorn Bazooka. I know friends who are going to be all about that. Go pop over to Jada Toys, who's really impressed me with their Mega Man figures, but I've heard their Street Fighter line is really, really good too. And now that seeing like they're getting the boss characters and the Super Street Fighter characters, this now has me interested. Now I kind of feel like I want to go back and get the ones that are already released. The Fei Long is super easy for me to find at Targets. It's the Ryu and the Chun-Li and the Ken and like the main cast that gets a little bit hard. I just saw them show off their doll sim with like the stretch, like not stretchy, but like they have like the soft rubber extended limbs, you know, with like a wire articulation. That's a neat idea for getting that across. You have the Dark Hado trio. I don't think I really need Evil Ryu and Violent Ken, but yeah, I was just talking to my friend Mace. I was just talking to him, and he's going like, they've done these two, why haven't they done Akuma? And lo and behold, here he is. Here's Akuma. Because they were probably saving him for later. Like, they felt like they wanted to focus on core cast and then get the later characters out there. Yep, so you got your Evil, you got your Sagat, who looks great. Bison looks great. Yeah, I think, geez, I think they've gone I think they've done everyone now. I think the entire cast is out. They're doing Scooby-Doo as well. Articulated Shaggy is going to be a great thing. You have any idea the ridiculous number of photos you're going to be seeing on Twitter, you know, of like Shaggy with like the Dragon Ball Z power-up, like glow effects all around him? Everyone's going to do it, and you know they will. We do have to bring up Jada Toys specifically because they showed off more of their Mega Man line. So, here's the part where you find out that the only reason I really did this video is so I could talk about all the new Mega Man stuff that got announced, because San Diego Comic-Con actually delivered for Mega Man fans. Oh my god. So, we already know. Wave 2 is going to be the Hyper Bomb Mega Man you see on screen, and then the Elect Man, and then Cut Man, which leaves 2 more Robot Masters from the first game in the dark, because both are larger and would require likely require a different price point to release. So, still waiting to find out how we're going to get a Guts Man and a Bomb Man, but in the meantime, we do know that Wave 3 is going to be a helmetless Mega Man, the Bubble Man that you see on screen right there, as well as, where is it? That Woodman. And the idea that we're getting toys from Mega Man 2 is kind of outstanding to me. Because normally these toy lines, they only focus on the first game's cast, the most memorable ones, and then they overbloat the number of Mega Man in the line so much that that's where the line dies, and they never get around to Mega Man 2 or 3. But this toy line is jumping the gun a little bit. It's jumping the line, which is kind of awesome. So yeah, we're getting Mega Man 2 characters already. Woodman and Bubble Man are interesting in that they are unique designs, but I wouldn't call them the most popular of Robot Masters from that game. For that, I'd be looking at Crash Man and Metal Man. So it's kind of weird to see those two. And Metal Man is on that short list of ones that I really, really want the most. Him and Top Man, by the way, which brings us to the reveal that, yeah, we now know what, we now know what Wave 4 is going to be. I'm thrilled they're even making it to a Wave 4. Wave 4 is going to be Gemini Laser Mega Man here. So new Gemini Laser effect part, as well as a new enemy, which I guess that's just going to be the pack-in for all these duplicate Mega Man. Then, I don't know why I don't have proper photos of these. Snake Man. That's a cool pick from number 3. I like that pick. Would have picked Top Man, but, you know, it's me. And then Proto Man. The big thing for me is that I genuinely feel like the mistake that Jada is making is by putting a Mega Man in every wave, because that has killed lines like this before. So I'm very nervous about them doing that. I'm very nervous about them just kind of overpopulating their toy line with just variants of Mega Man himself. So a little bit nervous about this. But that said, I do think, yeah, I think it looks good. I like that they're actually going outside, like, you know, getting more like the main cast in there. I still think Proto Man is popular enough that he could have anchored a wave instead of Mega Man, and you could have gotten away with that. Just let Mega Man take a break for a wave, just to make sure that, you know, all the ones you've released previously have kind of like cleared out. You know, because they're not even, it's weird. It's like they've done like Hyper Bomb Mega Man and doing Gemini Laser Mega Man, but they still haven't even done like the standard like red and white for Rush Mega Man. And they haven't done Rush either. Like, I need, like, the Rush Beat 2-pack or something. But no, if a friend of mine is watching, no, what I meant was, Tango, the Tango pack. Of course, that's the one to do. San Diego Comic-Con announced a few other things, though. San Diego Comic-Con announced a few other things. Udon Comics is doing Mega Man next year, and that is exciting. I look at the spread of characters here, and someone mentioned that, like, oh, well, Battle Network and Star Force aren't in this roster because, you know, it's, their licensing is different, you know, so they're trickier to license. And I think I'm like, not from anything I've ever heard, but then again, I'm not really paying attention to licensing things with franchises like this. It more or less feels like that those two are digital characters, and all 5 of these technically exist in the same timeline. So if you're going to do like a multi-Mega Man thing, these would be the 5 that you have available to you. And working in digital characters from an alternate universe might be a little bit trickier. That one might not be as doable as this. If they actually do stories that revolve around Mega Man X and Mega Man Volnut, I will be so happy. You have no idea how happy that would make me. I mean, because X is the favorite, and then Volnut is like sorely neglected for how much story can be told out of his universe. Jeez. Yes, I'm still salty over Legends 3. Yes, I will never not be salty. We're going to go to one more. There's one more I'm going to cap off on because I just didn't know where else in the mix this would fit in. Oh, by the way, they're also announced that they're doing English translations for other Mega Man series, other manga that were done in Japan. One is Mega Man Jr., which is more like lighthearted stories featuring like the original cast and everything. And then there is Mr. Mega Man, which is the idea of Mega Man grew up and became a dentist. What? What? How'd the robot grow up? How did the You know what? Fine. 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 I will accept this. I will accept this. For now. It's weird. It's just weird. We will cap it off with one other random story. Like I said, I didn't know where else to fit this in. Didn't know what else to do with it. Super7 is doing Dungeons and Dragons, and they are starting with a Vecna who looks absolutely amazing. He looks absolutely insane. They're doing a Tiamat too. The Tiamat is very much cartoon based, and is $300, and I don't think it looks like it's worth $300. So, yeah, good luck with that. But the Vecna, oh my god. I mean, if this is one of their... I'm going to wait for reviews to come out of that. I want to hear someone else's opinion before I spend money. But if this actually is as good as it looks like it is, you know, if the build quality is nice, this is like one of the stronger outputs I've seen from Super7. And I do love getting, like, I don't know. Dungeons and Dragons merch is weird. Like, they'll always do War Duke, who, like, me is like a modern fan of the franchise. I've never heard of. I've never read stories of. You know, you have to read like the old Dragonlance novels to get to know a lot of the characters that they talk about in, you know, make merchandise for. But Vecna, between Critical Role using him and Stranger Things using him, that has been a much more unavoidable D&D character, and it's still a relevant D&D character. So guess what? Yeah, I might be down, and if that's the start of things, that might be bad for my wallet. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that, like, caught my eye. Like I said, my pop culture view is kind of narrow, so a lot of this stuff is like, that looks cool. Anyway, moving on. This is just the stuff that I really wanted to talk about. Obviously, SDCC has so much more we could have gone over, but it's been half an hour already. I'm going to leave it here. So, thank you for watching. I know this is just me rambling about stuff that isn't Transformers. Don't worry. News roundups tomorrow. We'll be back to transforming pieces of plastic then. But for now, just want to do something different. So, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.